Welcome to this week's Friday show. I'm Cheyenne Cook with World News. 55 men have been arrested in England with connections to several children sexual abuse complaints. Several women came forth with claims that they have been abused as children by the men between 2002 and 2009. The men were arrested one by one, starting in November in West Yorkshire, England, by police. The men have all been interviewed and were released pending further investigation. Detective Inspector Ian Thorns have urged all others victims of sexual abuse to come forward and file a report. A Chinese court has sentenced a Canadian man, Robert Schellenberg, to death on a drug smuggling conviction. Schellenberg was detained more than 4 years ago and given 15 years in prison as part of a much larger scheme. Some reports believe that the death sentence recently handed down to Schellenberg is in retribution of Canadian detain of a Chinese corporate financial officer. The court called for a retrial earlier this month, claiming new evidence providing Schellenberg was involved in international drug smuggling. Schellenberg was then found guilty and sentenced to death. Next, we'll hear from Drew with National News.
Thanks, Cheyenne. The U.S. government shutdown, 28 days old, is now the longest shutdown in U.S. history with no end in sight. The back and forth between President Trump and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has gotten quite personal and childish, but no one knows how and when it will end. President Trump made peculiar changes to the White House food services. The national champion Clemson Tigers were greeted with unusual food items for such a visit from various fast food establishments, such as McDonald's, Wendy's, and Domino's Pizza. The president boasted that it was all paid for out of his own pocket. Citing the shutdown for the lack of White House chefs, Trump estimated between 300 and 1,000 hamburgers were purchased, on top of numerous fries and pizzas. An interesting choice of meal, to say the least. Elsewhere, a shooting took place outside of a Utah mall earlier in the week. Two unnamed individuals, a man and a woman, were shot near the southeast entrance to the Fashion Place Mall. The shooting sprang from an altercation between two opposing gangs in the mall before the scuffle moved outside, where the gunfire began. The suspects in the shooting have been identified and arrested. The female victim was not seriously injured and was released from the hospital later in the day, while the man remains in critical condition. We'll be right back after this break.
Welcome to Simple Mortgage. I'm Ron Newton. At Simple Mortgage, our goals are to help you not just dream of buying a home, but to help you do it. Simple Mortgage is a Michigan-based mortgage company with 7 branch locations in the state, along with an office in Florida and 1 in Tennessee. Our mission is to provide you a simple, systematic process for you to buy a home. Through our mortgage pre-approval program, you will know exactly how much you can afford, even if you have not found your perfect home yet. The Simple Mortgage website is designed to provide an understandable way to navigate the complete process for your financing needs of your new home. Our Simple Mortgage team is focused on satisfying our customers' needs now and in the future. I invite you to call us so that our team of professionals can help you begin to live your dream of becoming a new homeowner.
Welcome back. I'm Chase with State News. A Michigan man has been sentenced to life in prison after being convicted of raping a woman and then setting her on fire. In September of 2015, Carlise Clay kidnapped an Illinois woman from her home during a burglary. Clay forced the victim into his trunk, drove to nearby ATMs, and made her withdraw money. He then sexually assaulted her, and when she resisted to being forced into the back of the truck, he set her on fire. Last year, Clay pleaded guilty to kidnapping and sexual assault. The 53-year-old legally blind victim suffered burns over 1/3 of her body and now is confined to a wheelchair. Flint, Michigan had its first homicide of 2019 when a 16-year-old boy was shot and killed. Monterio Williams was shot and killed in early January. Police say they found the boy on the ground bleeding from an abdominal gunshot wound. He was rushed to the Hurley Medical Center in critical condition, but he later died. Police are still investigating the crime. Hannah?
Thanks, Chase. A 10-year-old attending Eagles Nest Academy in Flint, Michigan, brought a loaded gun to school on January 10th. The boy told other students that he had a gun. Other unnamed student took the gun and brought it to a school administrator. The school was placed in lockdown for over an hour. The 10-year-old, who is now lodged in the Genesee Valley Regional Center, was charged as a juvenile on a number of gun-related charges. Bertram police are warning motorists to monitor their bank accounts for suspicious activity. Reports have surfaced of credit card skimmers found on gas pumps at a local gas station. A credit card skimmer reads the magnetic strip on the credit card or debit card and stores the card number. Police say the skimmers were found 2 pumps between December 8th and January 14th. The affected gas station has yet to find the persons responsible, but the search continues. We'll be right back after this break.
Hi, I'm Rico, and welcome to this week's sports on MDM-TV.com. In basketball, the Detroit Pistons will play the Miami Heat tonight at 7 at Little Caesars Arena in the Motor City. Tomorrow night, they'll be playing the Sacramento Kings at the same time. The Pistons will look to rebound from a rough patch of late. The second-rate Michigan Wolverines beat Illinois 79-69 on Thursday and will go on to play the Wisconsin Badgers in Madison at 12 tomorrow. In Montrose sports, the Lady Rams varsity basketball team downed the Duran Railroaders 37-31, while the junior varsity team also earned a dub by a score of 31-23. Speaking of the Railroaders, our own boys varsity Ram basketball team will face off against Duran in the Railroad City. The Montrose wrestlers will travel to Hudson tomorrow to wrestle in the Hudson International Tournament, where the top wrestlers in the state will compete. The tournament looks to be a preview of this year's state meet. And that's sports. Thanks for tuning in. For everyone on the MDM-TV.com team, have a great weekend.